Hello friends, this is Tejaswini and in this video we will discuss about reactions of monosaccharide with other compounds to produce many useful products as we use them in daily life like sorbitol, saccharic acid which is glucaric acid, and in last video we have discussed structures of carbohydrate, general information of carbohydrate, water epimers, anomers, enantiomers, diastereomers and meso compounds. So in this video I'll start with the reactions of monosaccharide with other compounds, and first here I will draw one aldose which contain two reactive groups, that is aldehyde group and CH2OH. After oxidation of this group, only this group, we get gluconic acid, and after oxidation of only this group we get here only mild oxidation, not intense. Here is also we get glucuronic acid, and after oxidation of these two groups we get glucaric acid. And after reduction of only this group we get alditol. If this is glucose, glucuronic acid, gluconic acid, glucaric acid and sorbitol or glucidol. Here I will draw structure in simple form. After oxidation of this gluconic acid means here will be addition of oxygen group CHOH4 and CH2OH. Here it is oxidation of this group means here will be addition of oxygen, and this compound will be CHOH4 and COOH. After oxidation of these two we get COOH, CH2OH, 4 and COOH. After reduction of this means here will be the addition of hydrogen atom and we will get CH2OH, CHOH4 and CH2OH. I will tell you a little more about sorbitol. Sorbitol is not karyogenic and it means it is not absorbed by oral bacteria which usually break down other sugars, starches to release acids, which leads to the tooth decay or erosion of tooth enamel, and this sorbitol prevents tooth decay. Actually sorbitol has one more property, as this sorbitol is absorbed by our body slowly, and when it comes in our intestinal tract it draws water from surrounding body tissue, as it has hyperosmotic activity or osmotic property. Here I will write these properties of sorbitol. Also sorbitol, as we all know that sorbitol is used as humectant, and first I will write the source of sorbitol. One more source I know is banana. See, usually banana used to prevent or relieve constipation because it contains sorbitol, and this sorbitol has laxative property. It is diuretic, same meaning, diuretic, remember these two terms, and when it comes in our intestine it draws water from surrounding body tissue due to its property of tissue, due to its property of hyperosmotic property, hyperosmosis property. And it is not carcinogenic, therefore it prevents tooth decay, and used as humectant also. And it is used to give plasticity in products, mostly in bakery and confectionery products. Right. When water drawn into colon, it smoothens stool and relieves constipation. This is the mechanism actually. Not carcinogenic means it is not metabolized by oral bacteria. And therefore it prevents tooth decay, and this is the mechanism of this. Here I will tell you some derivatives of monosaccharide. First is amino sugar. Amino sugar is formed when hydroxyl group of monosaccharide is replaced by amino group, then that sugar is known as amino sugar. See, suppose here hydroxyl group is replaced by amino group, that is NH2, then that monosaccharide is known as amino sugar. And if this amino sugar monosaccharide is present in any polysaccharide, then that polysaccharide is known as mucopolysaccharide. Mucopolysaccharide is what? Polysaccharide containing amino sugar. Polysaccharide containing amino sugar monosaccharide. These amino sugar are examples of these are glucosamine and galactosamine. These two amino sugars are present in follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone in our body. And next derivative is deoxy sugar. As we all know that this is present in DNA. Deoxy sugar is formed when hydroxyl group is replaced by hydrogen. When hydroxyl group replaced by hydrogen. And remember these two. And glycosides are what? Glycosides are condensation product of sugar and non-sugar, or you can say glycon or glycon plus a glycon. And O-glycoside is formed when glycon react with phenol, and N-glycoside is formed when glycon react with amino group, and S-glycoside is formed when glycon react with thiol non-sugar group. Here I will write these three glycosides. There are also some more glycosides I will tell you. First is O-glycoside. O-glycoside is formed when sugar plus phenol group. This is phenol. And N-glycoside is formed when sugar react with amino group. And S-glycoside is formed when sugar react with thiol group, that is SH. And there are some glycosides. Here I will write amygdalin. Amygdalin is used to cure cancer. Remember this example. And also there are two examples important. hesperidine, hesperidine and naringenin. Here sugar is retinose, both contain retinose sugar, and here a glycone is hesperidine, hesperidine, and here a glycone is naringenin. Remember this is very important from exam point of view. It is not retinose, it is rutinose. It is rutinose. Rutinose sugar, rutinose sugar.